News.
Team Gamer.
And this is an FFG Reacts or Reacts on.
Microsoft press conference, E3 2018. What are you doing?
I had a bug crawling on my leg. Sorry about that, everyone. So this is our thoughts on the Microsoft E3 2018 press conference, front and back, and I used both sides.
Yeah, and the right side, very important.
Yeah. So they started out with a little trailer for Halo Infinite,
which we don't really know much about. They didn't show us any gameplay or anything. They showed us a trailer that had
he steps out in the back of his home.
Yeah, it looked like he was, I don't know.
And they said it uses the slip space engine, whatever that is. Guess it means something to somebody. So Phil Spencer came out and he wanted to tell us all about creativity and their fan fest, how they had people pay them money to go be there, their own fanboys. Wow, this is almost like Kickstarter, you know? Pay us for the game. They're like, pay us to cheer at the E3 press conference. I was like, wow, okay, nice, I guess. He also mentioned Gamers Outreach and how they've helped sick children in hospitals. And all the money went for that.
That's where all the fan tickets went to. That's what they were saying.
And he really plugged a couple of themes at this press conference. We'll get to that. They have real community on Xbox, and they are a unifier. And here again, here's another one that says we're an art form, and you have to, you know, treat us like art. I don't know. Every time I hear that art, I think of seals like art, 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 art. That's what I think of whenever I hear them say that. But maybe that's just me. So they had, they claimed, we didn't count. Okay, we did not count this, but they claimed they had 50 games, 18 exclusives, and 15 world premieres.
I think the 15 world premieres and 18 whatevers were included in that 50, though.
Probably, most likely. I don't think these were on top of. I think they were included. That makes sense. I know. I was getting tired of hearing world premiere or exclusive because there was a lot. They did a lot at the start of every little video.
I mean, I was fine. It didn't bother me.
So then they went into Ori and the Will-O-Wisp coming out in 2019. The
Looks
Xbox
like a
store.
little kids game, something teen game.
It'll probably E10 like the first Ori game was, but that had a lot of religious content and there was a whole lot of false gods in it. So, so from there, they showed us Sekiro Shadows.
M game, let's just say.
Yeah, it was M. Blood, gore, gross, samurai. After that, Todd Howard came out and showed us he can use bad language. His mama needs to wash his mouth out with soap. He called us all his friends.
No, he said
we got friend zoned at E3.
No, he didn't call us friends. He said that we were Phil's friends.
Oh yeah, they were Phil's friends, but he said they were his friends too, and we're all just friends. He friend zoned everyone there. Okay then, moving on. So he talked about Fallout 4,
76, and
then Fallout 76. But Fallout 4 being on the Game Pass. Fallout 76 most likely will be M. It looks pretty bad. And then there was a video for Captain Spirit, the little kid Life is Strange Square Enix. Yeah. See, this is why I make notes, because then I remember these things. Because you forgot already. It was that lack of being memorable. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, there was only a couple games that were even memorable.
Yeah. So then they showed, and actually this one kind of was memorable. I hope it's T, but I have a bad feeling probably.
No, that's M. Definitely.
The Crackdown 3. And February 2019, that was pretty violent and explosive.
The entire time, I'm pretty sure it was Terry Crews. I was just thinking that Old Spice commercial when he's standing there like a sprite just screaming, "Power!"
Yeah. After that was Nier Automata, another violent game. You're noticing the pattern here, there was lots of violent games. Metro Exodus, another violent game. But this one took time to attack Christians. With all of its blood and violence. Then finally something that is semi-family friendly, Kingdom Hearts 3, first time on Xbox. Doesn't mean it's just on Xbox, it's on other systems too. PS4. January 29th, that one comes out. Then they talked about Sea of Thieves.
DLC, we don't know if it's going to be paid or free add-on. Like the Megalodon was free, but we don't know if this will be free, or they didn't really specify anything.
Yeah, there are two DLCs coming out.
There's the real trend with these games. They announced a whole lot of stuff, but gave us no details on any of the stuff.
Yeah. They had a little video with lots of sorcery, magic, and the occult, and they told us about some undead island, which reminded me of the very first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
They told us about a volcano island, undead rising from the ocean.
Yeah, the Forsaken Island, Forsaken Shores. Then something we saw at the EA with Battlefield 5, so we just said, more blood, gore, violence. And I started at this point wondering, how many violent games are you going to show, Microsoft? And then finally, Finally! We had something we were expecting, hoping, requested, asked for, expected. Forza Horizon 4. Looks awesome. The hovercraft, you were like, can we drive that?
No, I was talking about the
bikes.
motorcycles. I don't care about the hovercraft.
Okay, I care about the hovercraft. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Ralph Fulton from Playground Games came out. He talked about it's going to be in Britain this time, and that they're going to have seasons all about sharing the online experience. Breaking of the walls and fences was impressive.
The stone walls, which usually would just stop you and break your front bumper, back bumper, whatever you hit it with.
Yeah, so it was nice to see that. October 2nd that comes out. The real question will be, can we change the seasons ourselves, or do we have to wait till it's a real season in the real world?
I think it's not gonna, I think it's either gonna be based on calendar, or it's gonna be universal for everyone, because the words they chose were very similar to that Anthem trailer we talked about yesterday. They said that if it's raining in Anthem, every player who's playing is going to see rain.
Right.
So I'm thinking if it's like snowing, the seasons may be amplified in Forza, so they may be faster. So if it's snowy and icy, it's snowy and icy for everyone.
It'd be nice if it was like, maybe every week.
Of course, it could also be region, because if it's snowy here in America, then it might be sunny in Australia.
But then not every player online is going to experience it.
Of course, if it's based in Britain, it could be based on Britain's seasons.
It could. We're going to find that out when the game's out, so more to come on that. We're actually excited about Forza Horizon. I think for me, this is pretty much the only game that made watching this hour and 40-minute press conference worth it. It was just that one. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty short. So,
they announced a bunch of different stuff for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is a game I did an unboxing of.
This was the initiative.
Oh, the initiative.
So they have new Microsoft labels. These are companies that have worked with Microsoft, and now they've brought them in-house and they've purchased them. Yeah. So they bought Undead Labs, Zombie... Oh, they're zombies. Playground Games, and they said Playground Games has a new project they're working on.
Which is the people who made Forza Horizon.
Ninja Theory, Compulsion Games. Then they showed We Happy Few. And then we went into... Okay,
so PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is getting some new mode called War. We're not quite sure what it is. Looks like maybe it's
Jungle Map.
Answer to 50-50. Yes, the Jungle
War
Map.
Mode?
War Mode was shown around the same time. The Jungle Map is supposed to be coming out this summer. And then at some point near Christmas, we're supposed to be getting some snow map, it looked like.
Yeah, winter 2018, so hopefully by Christmas we'll have something.
And it looks like the flare guns are finally migrating. Maybe we'll get private matches too. I mean, maybe they're finally deciding, hey, well, maybe we'll catch up with the Xbox.
So then they bragged that they went and saw Bandai Namco in Japan. Good for you.
I mean, at least it was an interesting game.
Oh yeah, and then they said, we're gonna, for the first time in the States, have Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. So I had to look this up. We have Tales of Vesperia on the Xbox 360.
We got it not that long ago to play it, I think.
Yeah, so they said that should be here this Christmas. I have no idea what new stuff they added to, or if it's even worth it. Then we went into The Division 2.
Which is most likely M, but it didn't have any blood, so it's...
I saw some blood. I wrote down about it. So violent blood, bad language. March 15th, you can start to avoid that game. Ashley Spicher, whatever, came out, and she wanted to advertise Xbox Pass.
Game Pass?
Game Pass. And she went all into the fast start, how if you pay them extra money, they'll actually have these games start faster than they have been starting, which is horrible. And somehow Sony does it without requiring extra money.
I'm not quite sure that's what they meant.
Probably not.
They were talking about the Game Pass, and they're talking about in the June update, Fast Start will also be coming. So I'm thinking Fast Start is on select titles.
We'll find out.
Most of the titles that are in Game Pass, but if you have them separately, they'll probably be a part of that feature.
They kept mentioning Fast Pass though, or
Game Pass.
Game Pass. They kept mentioning Game Pass and saying, "Oh well, yeah, we see what you play in Game Pass, and we'll make the games you play start faster." So I'm concerned it's going to. I hope it's all of them, but we'll see. Then they showed a ton of games for it at Xbox, which is the independent. Yeah. They flashed them so fast, I didn't even bother trying to write them down. It was just too quick.
There was like a couple that were of interest. Some of them looked like they might be E. Like those were the only real kids-friendly games we really saw, but we couldn't exactly go in depth. We just saw like maybe 5 seconds of gameplay per.
It was like flash. It was real quick. Then Shadow of Tomb Raider, which is most likely be M with all the blood and violence. September 14th. So.
What's next?
Oh, Session. Session came out. Skateboarding.
It's supposed to be the spiritual successor to Skate since EA decided they're not doing Skate 4. They've canceled it 3 different times, if I'm not mistaken.
There was some bad language in the music they were playing. Hopefully we can turn it off, but that's and hopefully it'll be T. They don't
or lower. I mean,
add a bunch of more bad stuff.
NBA 2K's E10 has all that profanity as well.
Then they showed Black Desert, which actually looked kind of interesting. That was the magic chick and the sorcery, and but they were promoting the reincarnation religious belief. She had 3 lives and she was doing all this stuff. And it looks maybe interesting. Hopefully T, but I have a bad feeling it'll go M. Then we heard about Devil May Cry 5 and was just like
guaranteed M.
Mentally tuning out, honestly.
Some Cuphead DLC. We don't know if it's paid or free. They didn't exactly specify.
New character, new boss, new level.
Bosses.
Like, And then we had Foxlink. Remember Foxlink?
No.
And the isometric, the Link that was a Fox character.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
It's actually called Tunic. And my joke was, wow, you just missed an A and it would have been Tunica, which is a city in Mississippi. By the way, if you don't know, hey, watch us for a little education. Yeah, education. Phil Spencer came out to say we're all in community again and give more of his propaganda. And then they showed us Jump Force 2019.
The Jump Force looks like the J-Stars from the PlayStation exclusive. It showed a whole bunch of different the anime characters that Shonen owns, I think. Bandai Namco does most of the games.
Who'd you notice at the end?
At the end, it was Light from Death Note.
Yep.
And what's his name? I don't remember the God of Death's name. I don't remember his name.
After that was Dying Light 2, which is an OBM, Blood and Gore. And I kept saying, at this point, I'm like, how many apocalyptic macabre games can you have? I mean, it's just been apocalyptic. I was like, I'm so tired of it. Maybe something of interest coming in 2019, and Battletoads. I was actually I thought, hey, that might be good. We'll see what it's like. If it's not just a remastered version of the original, it's actually a real new one. Just Cause 4.
Just Cause, who knows?
Just Cause 4, M, yuck. Gears
Pop. App, Gears Tactics.
It's an app. And Gears Tactics.
And then Gears 5.
And Gears 5.
All most likely M.
Yeah, they all look, but now the app may not be M, but it'll probably just be horrible. So I'll just say that. Phil Spencer came out to give us more propaganda about being community and unity, and everyone loves Xbox, and so all his fanboys who paid to be there cheered. And he claimed to be the best. Now here's the thing. Microsoft has never, ever won. They've lost to Wii. They've lost to PS2. They lost to Wii. They've lost.
It's due to the console
PS4.
exclusives.
They're losing, and they sit there and claim they're the best. So that's why I call it propaganda, because they have never once won a console generation war. So I'm sorry.
They've been ahead for like a couple hours since Xbox released before PlayStation.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was it. And then he claimed they were the most diverse. At this point, I have to call him on this and say, no.
No, that's not what he said. That is not what he said. If you're going to say that, you need to actually remember what he said.
He said they had the most diverse lineup.
No, he said the most diverse lineup the Xbox E3 had ever had.
Okay, so there was no kids games, there was no Christian games, there was no sports games, and there was no EC games. So
There
I'm
aren't
sorry.
any more EC games. That's basically a dead rating.
No, they're still doing it.
No. That's the last one.
I just decided, look, I'm going to call him out on this and be like, dude, you don't have the most diverse. It was a whole lot of macabre, a whole lot of morbid, a whole lot of apocalyptic M games. I'm sorry, I just don't see the diversity. You had a couple here or there you threw at us for families. You just didn't succeed. Then he talked about Microsoft AI and bragging about the cloud, which just annoys me personally. And then they mentioned that they are working on the next Xbox console. So they're not done after X. There's something else they're working on.
We don't know if it'll have if it'll be like the same Xbox One type generation, if it'll work backwards, or if it's just going to be something new entirely.
So we'll find that out whenever they decide to let us know, which it won't be until next year, because there's no way they're going to endanger Christmas sales. You know that.
Nah.
After that, it was Cyberpunk 2077.
Which looked like a
Another
Shadowrun
game.
ripoff.
Yeah, I thought it was Shadowrun at first. I was like, oh, hey, Shadowrun. They're going to do a new Shadowrun game finally. And it's not going to be the horrible PC versions. And I was wrong. It was Cyberpunk 2077, which I've heard about in the past. I think it maybe on the PC. I'm pretty sure it's M. It's just lots of violence and blood, lack of attire. And I just said, well, typical Microsoft recent years.
All right, can we just focus on the fact that it's not a post-apocalyptic zombie though?
Yeah, and you know what? I'll give it that. Neither was Crackdown 3. And I'll give Crackdown 3 that too. And Crackdown 3 was bright and colorful. With all of the explosions all the time, it was very bright and colorful.
But I think that's it. So
Yeah,
we'd like
that's all
to
we got.
thank everyone for watching. So hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.